Ray talks more with Kevin Tice of Starr Electric Company about electrical as well as apprenticeships, what they're about, and how you can get started in the industry in general. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. About Your House is also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store that's been serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 coming your way. Kevin Tice, Starr Electric. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, every Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m. on Fox Sports Charlotte. Download the free app and stream it live anywhere Saturday mornings. Downloaded from the Tuesday live broadcast that we do every week here in the podcast studio at the Toolbox. Once again, Starr Electric's in-house today. We're talking about, well, the electrical side of things. You're not going to give, you won't see us without it. Yep. Part of the infrastructure, that we all deal with and take for granted every day. But when we lose it, we go nuts.
Yep.
Because you lose these too. Yep. Screens go away, especially after about 24 hours. It takes a while for the batteries to run dead. How are you going to charge the battery if you don't have electricity? Talking to Kevin... Mr. Tice, Kevin Tice here. I got so many Kevins in my world. When I say Kevin, now I'm thinking of which one I'm talking to. We're talking about quality in general. I've got Preston Sandlin. I just got off the phone with him. Preston Sandlin set up a time when he'd come in studio and we can talk about the quality of construction these days. And I hear stories more today about quality or lack of quality. It's just gotten terrible. And I was talking to Kevin and asked him if he feels it. Of course, you're not out in the field much, but where do you get your intel?
Talking to code officials. Or
what are some of the comments you've heard?
It's like, constantly having to correct mistakes, different wiring methods where they're not allowed, and because typically you install the work and then the inspector comes to approve your work.
Exactly.
They don't tell you what to do beforehand. So they'll come out and inspect work and find out that it hasn't been installed properly. They've used the wrong wiring method. They use Romex where Romex is not allowed. It needs to be MC cable, or
MC is metallic cable,
or it needs to be a conduit. Whether they might have exposed PVC in a plenum type location.
Right.
Just wiring methods installed incorrectly. Junction boxes not large enough by code. When you have to start fixing your own work, it gets very expensive.
The biggest problem with any trade is doing it right the first time. When you've got to do something twice, actually you could do it. You need to plan on labor for 3 times. Why?
You got to tear it out.
You got to go back and redo. While you go back and redo, you should be on another job. You shouldn't have to be redoing what you've already done. So how costly that is incredibly costly.
Yeah. And
sometimes when you go back, it's harder to redo because you got other trades in your way and you just can't whip it out and redo it. So it just, doing right the first time saves a lot of money and a lot of aggravation and a lot of time. A lot of time.
Yeah. Because when you're tearing it out, you're holding up another trade.
Yeah.
And now you're creating problems for them.
Yes. So it's very important that we learn to do things correctly, whether you're a plumber, whether it's carpentry, framing, drywall, painting. I don't care what the task is, do it right the first time. And the problem with we're going to have Preston on the show, Preston Sandlin with Home Inspection Carolina, to talk about what he sees in the residential side of things, because right now I'm hearing getting a lot of feedback from homeowners at 3-4 years after the fact. Our quality has diminished so badly in new construction, it is appalling in some situations. Now, why do I bring this forth? Because it's become normal. It's become normal. Now, if bad is normal, what are we doing wrong? We're not teaching and training our workforce, called workforce development. So, in light of that, the education behind an apprenticeship program is very beneficial because you're taught like a college scenario. Same situation. Mm-hmm. Now, let's break down what an apprenticeship means this hour because a lot of people aren't up to date. In Europe, apprenticeships have been forever.
Yeah. We read about them as kids where Paul Revere he started as an apprentice.
Right.
And those apprenticeship programs, those apprentice programs might be 7, 8, 10 years before you were allowed to do that work on your own.
Right.
Now apprenticeship programs are 4 years, typically.
Let's talk about an apprenticeship program because you've definitely been in it a long time. And matter of fact, you went through it as a young electrician when you were in your 20s.
Yep. Went through apprenticeship program here in Charlotte. And I don't know if you know, the winner of the very first electrical apprenticeship contest in the state of North Carolina.
You were? How about that? Look, I got somebody special. Kevin Tice, the first winner.
The first contest.
Of the first apprenticeship contest.
Yep.
You were it.
Yep.
Is that anywhere written on the wall anywhere of a Starr Electric? It should be.
There might be a plaque.
Gotta have a plaque, man.
There might be a plaque.
That's honorable, Kevin.
Yeah. The very first contest.
I appreciate you sharing that. I didn't know. You're special.
He's an
So I can
champion.
always say, you can't be first, but you can be next.
There you go.
Because I'm first.
There you go. That's great. What'd you score?
Have no idea.
Didn't care. You won.
Didn't care. That's right.
You won. Well, that's awesome. All right, let's tell our listeners and viewers, for that matter, what does it take? One, do you have to be an apprentice?
No. You don't have to be, I'm going to speak for Starr Electric.
Sure.
But, to work for Starr Electric, to come up through the ranks, so to speak, you don't have to be an apprentice. But it's your advantage to be an apprentice.
What are the advantages?
Well, you get classroom learning. I can tell you how to be an electrician, but there's electrical theory that you need to understand. You're not going to get that on a job site, but you need to understand electrical theory.
In the back door, so to speak.
Yes.
You get it, but you're not getting it presented to you
why
in the
it
same
does
manner.
what it does.
Right.
Why it does what it does on paper.
Sure.
And a lot of things works through math, but until you're explained the math, you don't understand why the current does what it does. Why it does. So you get the education, but in an apprenticeship classroom, and then you have hands-on to make sure that you understand what you're doing. Now you can work for Starr Electric for X number of years, and you can learn how to do things, but you don't get the
education classroom and the explanations and the backdrop,
yes,
so to speak.
Yes. Like if you wanted to know, will that wire fit in that conduit? Rule of thumb will tell you, but when you start getting in larger conduits, a lot of times rule of thumb don't work, but there's math involved to tell you, yeah, it'll fit. No, it won't fit. You need to run a larger size conduit.
Not only that, but the different type wires. Some wires can go in that pipe. Some wires can't go in that pipe.
You can change insulation types and make it fit.
THHN and THWN and TH. I'm just spitting. I know there's THHN.
Yep. but there's different insulation types that you can change.
And
you do the calculation one way, it don't fit, but you do it another way with a different insulation, it'll fit.
Right. I had an electrician over here. I told you from IEC. He was going around telling me everything that's out of code out there. He said that ain't code, and that ain't code. This building's not the code. This building is. I got to share this with you. Next door, some Russians came in here and rewired that, upfitted it to rent. No inspection, no permit. I went in there to check the water heater. Just two things. She said her water would turn cold quickly. I went over there. They had a regular water heater wired with 110.
It get real hot, and then it won't do it anymore.
then when it runs out, you're done.
Yep.
But I went over there and checked it, and I said, they only wired it with 120. And then every device, every screw connections were backwards, counterclockwise. Every one of them.
Must have been a left-handed electrician.
Must have been a Russian.
Yeah.
And didn't know what he was doing.
Yep.
Because I went over there and changed out the two dimmers. Mm-hmm. And when I was doing it, I pulled out all the single pole switches, righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. Every one of them was backwards. Wrong.
Yep.
And these are the type things that I'm teaching kids here in the toolbox about righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. And it's very important on electrical devices that you get that right. Very important. And never use the stabs on the back of the receptacle. Is that against code or that?
No, it's you
should be.
It's not in the code, but it's manufacturers that drive that, where you can only do the back stabs up to number 14 because that is what the manufacturers have put together. It's not in the code book anywhere.
But you agree with me? You should never use them.
Should never. That's a service call going to happen.
Oh, it's not if, it's when.
Yep.
I'll never forget the day I went to take out. The lady told me, she said, Ray, could you check the plugs? She called them in the bathroom upstairs. There was two duplex receptacles side by side.
One worked, one didn't.
They both didn't work.
Okay.
I unscrewed the screws, pulled the receptacle out. It came completely off 4 wires, like this. The wires were sticking out just like this. Literally just pulled them right off the wire. That's the back rear stab locks. Do not do that. If you're a DIY guy or you think you know electrical and you use the little holes in the back to stab into, wrong.
Yeah, it's quick, but that's the residential industry. The only way to make money in the residential industry is you got to do it quick.
But you got to do it right.
You got to do it right, but
and
you got to do it quick.
And stab locks are not right.
Yeah.
And you could turn around and say, well, it's not code. I don't care. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong. You agree with me?
Yeah.
Every electrician, he agrees.
It's a service call going to happen.
It's going to happen. And it also is a fire hazard because anytime you get resistance in electrical, you get heat. Every time. Every time. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, sometimes the thermal imaging camera will show it. I've pulled out receptacles that have been fried. I know you've seen several.
Yep.
Many. And how many times you been shocked? Just curious. Could you count?
I probably couldn't count.
Yeah, but see.
But, that goes way back.
Oh, I understand.
But because if you, in talking with a lot of students.
I know what you're going to say.
They say, but I'm going to get shocked. If you get shocked now, you have an employer that doesn't care.
It's all about safety.
Yeah, you have an employer that does not care about you because
you're taught and trained.
The industry has changed, and training and knowledge will keep you from being shocked.
That's right. Training. Kayla Calamoose, I'll never forget it. IBEW gal. I had 4 of them on the show one time.
I know who you're talking about.
I've met her. Kayla?
Yeah, I've met her.
Well, you met her at one of the career days.
Yeah.
She was just a bundle of joy and smiles. She loved her job. I told her I got shocked, and she immediately gave me heck, boy.
Yeah.
She reprimanded me. She said, there's no sense in anybody getting shocked. If you follow safety precautions, Ray Terry, you should never. And here you are bragging about it.
Yep.
Sounds like you're happy about it. I said, what's good Lord, have mercy. Woman, get off my case.
Yeah, if someone is shocked, you have an employer that does not care about you.
There you go.
Mark my words, they don't care about you.
Right. Unless you don't care about you. But my father, do you use the 2-finger test sometimes?
I have done it. I have done it.
Now you wonder what. Now, should I be saying this stuff on air? Should I be telling people what? But it's a fact. Mm-hmm. My father, I would watch him many a day lick his two fingers. I don't lick mine, but lick his two fingers and touch two wires: the black wire and the white wire coming. That's your hot coming in. He'd touch them, and I'd say, "What are you doing?" I'm checking to see if it's hot. I said, "You don't feel it? It doesn't. You can touch 110 like this. You don't do 220 that way." But you can touch 110, or can you do 220 that way?
Yeah.
It'll tingle?
Oh, yeah. It'll light you up, too.
Well, that'll light you up, but 110 won't light you up. It just tingles.
It depends on how you get on it.
But you don't do this. Yeah. Don't do this. But I watched my father do it, and do I do it? Yeah, I did it 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. Last week. Yeah, I did it last week. Sometimes, I'm not getting into all this.
Disclaimer, Ray's a professional. Some
electrician's going to call me, boy, you shouldn't be talking like that. When you go to the panel, nothing's marked right, and you're flipping breakers. I just soon short circuit them and trip the breaker. You ever done that?
I'm ashamed to say, yeah, I've done it.
Ashamed to say, I love it.
Yep, I've done it.
I'm not ashamed to say it, but I've done it, and I will do it again because you electricians out there label the darn panels and label them right. Spend out there 30 minutes trying to find it, and then come to find out it's not in that panel at all, and you got to go outside to the other panel. Because after doing it, I said, you got another panel on this house. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you there's one outside. Well, I know it now because it wasn't in that panel. But I love the electrical trade. I don't like getting shocked. You can get killed very easily in the electrical trade if you don't know what you're doing. So I sit here and say, what I just said to you is not proper, right?
A fella explained to me one time, electricity will work even when it's wrong.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
It'll work even when it's wrong.
Let me tell you the worst thing I ever did. Pure stupidity, right there, pure. Basement was flooded. There were 3 geothermal heat pumps under that house, 220 each, and the water was at least a foot over the junction boxes, and I walked in that water. I don't need to tell you how unsafe that was.
Yep.
And when I got out of that, we fixed it and we got the water out of there. But at the end of the day, I said to myself, you're a lucky man. Because I could have easily been toasted that day.
Mm-hmm. And nobody would have known where it came from.
Nope. Nobody would have known. But there was water under that house a foot above the junction boxes or the feeds that fed those geothermal units. And man.
So did you knowingly do this, or you just had a brain fart and didn't think it through?
I didn't think it through.
Okay.
No, I was after the water. I didn't even think about the power until after the fact. And then I said, my God, I'm an idiot. Mm-hmm. I had another man in there too. There were 2 of us. And we got the water out, but it was we should have shut everything down that day. Everything should have been shut down. So be cautious. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. And I shouldn't have been under that house. Probably the most dangerous job I ever did. And that ain't good.
There's a lot of people that gets killed in the water on lakes.
I know.
Because of bad wiring on boats.
Exactly.
Bad wiring on a boat.
Matter of fact, Uncle Red
and nobody will know what caused it.
Right.
Because it could just be bad wiring on somebody's boat, and they plug in a radio, and it sends a fault into the water, and it may kill somebody 3 boats over, and then they unplug their radio and they leave, and nobody knows why it happened.
It's dangerous. Mm-hmm. Well, Uncle Red was my co-host for about 2 years. I think you can probably remember when Uncle Red was on the show. And
yep.
Somebody called one day and said that every time they go swimming up there, they feel a tinge. Mm-hmm. And Uncle Red went by there and checked it out. They had a neutral something. They just had a misconnection, and it was going into the water. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of electrical situations. Water and electricity do not
play well
mix.
together.
They don't go together at all. At all. So be cautious. All right, but right now let me talk about ABS Insulating. ABS Insulating, been in Charlotte a long time. Originally family owned and operated. Alan Hoppy had great ethic, a great idea in insulation with ABS Insulating. Very, very well known in the Charlotte area. Very great, good service. Google reviews up there, 5 stars and above. Can't get much above 5, can you? But highly rated. Great service. Give them a call, absinsulating.com. They got open cell, closed cell insulation as well as bat. Well, the bottom line is they know comfort. Now you say they're not an HVAC company. No, but they're an insulation company. They know how to make your house as tight as it can be, no matter what the case may be. They got air seal program, different ways and resolves to get you the best building envelope you can have, airtight. Well, you don't lose temperature through air. You lose it through humidity. You're not fighting temperature, you're fighting humidity. How to keep humidity out of your house? Have a great building envelope, an air sealed envelope with great insulation. ABS is your go-to company. During the hot months, ask them about attic encapsulation. Last week they went out and looked at a house. The owner of the house called me and told me they were out, looked at it, and he's definitely giving it some thought. If you want to take the strain away from your AC, it's a great avenue of approach to encapsulate the attic. It works. Your attic will never exceed 80 degrees again. That's absinsulating.com. And let's don't forget FCI of Southeast Charlotte. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Your go-to floor covering, anything to do with floors, give them a call. Be it hardwood floors, the most popular floor in the Charlotte metro area is hardwoods. Be it oak, be it walnut. No matter what the wood species is, they can handle it. Stair treads, stair railings. They can just change anything you want. If it's got something to do with that floor, touches the floor. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Bring the showroom to you. No matter what area you're in, Stallings, Iredell County, Lake Norman, Union County, Indian Land. Doesn't matter where you're at. Don't let the name fool you. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Go online, yourflooringteam.com. And along with that, Queen City Home Store. Definitely a great store. Been in Charlotte since 1952. Today, never been better. Opening stores throughout North and South Carolina. Currently, they got a lot of deals going on around the July 4th specials. Go online, queencityonline.com, or call corporate 704-391-6000. That's queencityonline.com. Bedding, appliances, furniture, media, they got it. Give them a call. Go see. Showrooms throughout North and South Carolina. That's Queen City Home Store. QueenCityOnline.com. Once again, 704-391-6000. Starr Electric's in the house today, telling us about what you can do to be an electrician, basically. No matter if you're female, male, what age. If you're ready to switch gears, get out of the corporate bandwagon, going into the trades, it's a great career pathway. And it's definitely a good paying career pathway. So your top electricians today, what would they make, roughly?
$30, $35, $40 an hour. Easily.
Yep.
Easily.
And the great thing about electrical, once you learn it, you got it. You can it'll never leave you.
You may get rusty, but once you've got it, you've got it. Yep.
And the great thing about the trades too, once you learn one, you've learned you know a little bit about plumbing, you know a little bit about HVAC, the other trades involved, do you not?
Yep.
You pick up on that. And when you pick up on it, some people say, I think I want to go into the HVAC sector, and they switch gears. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Nothing at all wrong with it. Matter of fact, some of you would like HVAC better. And you really don't have to give up a lot of time learning it.
No, not really.
So it's just a matter of, figuring it out. All right. If someone wants to be an electrician today, what advice would you, like a young kid out of high school, what advice would you give them?
There are a number of apprenticeship programs. We're just going to talk about the Charlotte area.
Yeah, just the Charlotte area.
Yes, Starr Electric has an apprenticeship program, but it is only open to Starr Electric employees.
Right.
So it is our program. But there's other programs in the Charlotte area. There's the IEC, Independent Electrical Contractors Association. ABC has an apprenticeship program, Associated Building and Constructors. You've got the IBEW program.
That's the CETI, Carolina's Electrical Training Institute. Isn't that who they work for through?
Yeah, well, that's their training arm.
That's their training arm. Okay.
And, they all have apprenticeship programs. The North Carolina Association of Electrical Contractors has an apprenticeship program. So ABC contract, pick a XYZ contractor would be a member of the North Carolina Association of Electrical Contractors,
right?
And they have an apprenticeship program. So there's a number of apprenticeship programs that someone can get in this area.
Now, if they just want to get into the electrical field, would you advocate going into an apprenticeship program or just getting it with a company?
Getting with a company that works with an apprenticeship program.
Through, like, if you got with a company that's a member of ABC, you could get into the ABC electrical program.
That's correct.
That's why they have it.
Yes, and because for a true apprenticeship program, you have the classroom and you have to, we call it OJTs, which on-the-job training.
Sure.
So you have to, for a true apprenticeship program, you have to have on-the-job training hours, which means you got to work for a contractor.
Right.
To get those OJT hours. Because to graduate an apprenticeship program, you need 144 hours of classroom experience classroom time per year, and your apprenticeship program is 8,000 on-the-job training hours. So if you do the math, 8,000 hours is 4 years.
Gotcha.
If you do the math.
Right. But you get paid the whole time, and the education's basically a given, a freebie.
There's multiple ways it's done. Some companies charge their apprentices something, whether it's the cost of the books or whatever, and they usually have programs to give you your money back, so to speak. That if you have good grades at the end of the year, you get the money back that you put in.
Gotcha.
Some programs don't charge anything for the employee to. Starr Electric doesn't charge anybody, but it's only open to our employees.
Right.
But other have some form to make the apprentice have some skin in the game.
Sure.
They're going to charge them something, and then they have ways for the money to come back to the employee.
I got you. I got to interrupt the show here a minute, folks. I'm sorry. We're here at the Toolbox, and somebody just walked in the back door. Rishton, would you go tell those people that we're on doing a podcast? This is highly irregular, and apologize for it. But, hey, man, stuff happens. Rishton, take your headsets off and go tell them people we're doing a podcast and do what they do. He's going to walk in front of the camera here a minute and dodge it and get around here. I apologize for that interruption, but sometimes stuff happens. And that's just the way it is.
Yep.
So I got Kevin Tyson here, the training officer, I would call him, of Starr Electric Corporation, Starr Electric Company. It is a corporation, obviously. And so you can be an apprentice and get reimbursed, but the expense is minimal.
It's minimal.
Now, and if you go to an apprenticeship competition and you win it, you get lots of tools and stuff.
Yeah, you get stuff. You get stuff. And as you do better, you compete in more contests.
And you get more stuff.
More stuff. You can't have too many tools.
No, you can. Yeah, that's a fact. Tools. Let's talk about tools. You can't do anything without them.
Yep.
You might know how to be a plumber. You might know how to be an electrician, but you cannot nor will succeed without tools.
Garage door doctor doing the measurements.
Sure, no problem. You got them squared away?
What do you want me to tell them? Just
Tell them to take their measurements and see you later.
Okay.
We're putting a new garage door in the toolbox here, hopefully. And the garage door doctor, thank goodness for garage door doctor. We appreciate them. We really do. They showed up today. They're measuring the 10-foot overhead door we have here at the toolbox and checking it out, checking what we have so they can match it and put the best product available in our situation. And that's what this is all about. Once again, apologize for the interruption. But back to the apprenticeship, you can't do in tools. Everything's the same in construction to me. Mm-hmm. It just takes different tools.
Yep.
Takes different tools, different knowledge, and different applications. But in an electrical field, you say you can't have enough tools. Most good electricians have more tools than they need.
Yeah. You can get by with just a few. It makes you work harder.
And one thing I want to tout right now, and I'll give Milwaukee a plug right now, Milwaukee Tools. Milwaukee Tool, to me, you can help me here, Kevin, is the most trade-specific, best tools on the market. Would you agree?
Yeah.
They even make wire nut tighteners now. I couldn't believe when I saw a wire and a battery drill, basically. Is it a drill or is it just the application?
It's just a tool that goes into a drill.
A tool and it'll twist wire nuts.
But you got to be careful with it because it'll twist it too far.
I got you.
Yep. Takes a little bit of finesse.
Strippers, they got specific better strippers now. They got everything.
Yep. Them and Klein are like the two.
Yeah, well, Klein's always been me growing up with a father that was an electrician. That's the only name I saw predominantly.
Yep.
With Klein Tools. Klein's been in the electrical industry forever and actually produced some of the best hand tools on the market today. I've had a pair of Klein side cutters and side cutters are pliers. You call them, what do you call them?
Side cutters.
Good to know I'm
Yep.
on target there. But Klein makes, like I say, something. Matter of fact, I'll ask you for a Klein rep so I can get them in here. I was told by, you knew Dave Cluey at one time,
Yep.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
He worked for Starr for 13 years. He came in here last Saturday 2 weeks ago and told me that I needed to take this wall in the classroom and fill it with tools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great training because when people, you'd be surprised how many kids going up don't know the difference between a Phillips screwdriver and a straight screwdriver. You got plus and minus, right?
Yep.
It's just amazing how many. And now let's go into the man sector. You'd be surprised how many men out there today do not know what they are either. But it's a fact. So, what do we do to train kids, train adults all alike? What do we do? How do we train them? We teach them. We put tools in their hands. Back to the apprenticeship training, though. So 4 years it takes. Can it go longer than that?
You can.
I mean, if you miss, say if you put 2 years in and then jumped ship and went to another company, come back, do those 2 years, do they remain in your?
They're yours.
They're accrued and
Yep.
you keep them.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. They're yours.
But it takes 4 years to get highly accredited. I mean, as an apprentice.
Yep.
Now, what does that mean? Now that you're apprentice and are you a journeyman?
Well, poo-poo on the state of North Carolina.
Yeah, for sure.
The state of North Carolina does not have a journeyman certification. Used to, there was a journeyman certification in every county in the state. I have a Mecklenburg County journeyman card. It's in perpetuity now because Mecklenburg County did away with their journeyman program. But right now there's only, I think it's either 2 or 3 jurisdictions in the state of North Carolina that still has a journeyman program. So right now in the state of North Carolina, there is no license, there is no card-carrying electrician. You are a licensed contractor now.
Let's talk about being a licensed contractor. You know the rules about that, don't you?
On the licensing board.
Here we go. I love it. What's it take to be a licensed electrician, Kevin?
To be a licensed contractor, to have a limited licensed contractor.
Let's explain limited.
Limited means that you can contract electrical work up to $60,000.
Okay.
Up to $60,000.
Primarily residential.
Primarily. But you can do small commercial, but
sure,
as long as it's less
within
than
that, yeah,
as long as it's less than 60,000
within that parameter.
So you have to have 2,000 hours of what's called primary experience, which means you're supervising somebody.
Right.
And then you have to have, I believe it's 3,000 hours of secondary experience. That means somebody was supervising you.
Right.
So if your employer, being a licensed contractor, can document those hours, then you can be approved to take the exam.
Gotcha.
And
so you've got to have support,
yes,
to do it, and
yes,
plus you've got to have validated experience,
yes,
according to the protocol.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. So there's the limited license contractor.
Do you have to have so much money in the bank at all to do that? I was just curious.
Nope. But then the next level up is called an intermediate, which will allow you to contract work up to $150,000.
Right.
And then after that is an unlimited contractor, which allows you to do anything dollar-wise. Now, the unlimited does require, it doesn't say, the law doesn't say that you have to have X dollars in the bank, but you have to have either a line of credit or something from a bank that says you're financially stable.
Gotcha. Now let's compare that with general contractors. I'm going to ask you man to man here, just as far as our industry involvement. Do you think contractors ought to be kind of held to the same rule? General contracting?
Mm-hmm.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Do you know that it's not anywhere close?
No.
Not anywhere close. To be a contractor, licensed general contractor in Charlotte, state of North Carolina, you have to pass an open book test, and you have to have so much money in the bank, and you have to have 3 recommendations by general contractors, professional licensed general contractors. That's it. Am I right or wrong?
That's pretty close, yeah.
Now, so that means all you have to do is take the study course, how to pass the contractor's license test. You take a course on how to pass the contractor's license test. I didn't say build a house or 2 or 1 or whatever. I didn't say any experience. You just have to pass an open book test.
Jesus.
That you went to school on figuring out how to use the book to pass the test. And 3 recommendations, which, if you connected through an association, that's easy to come by, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And then you have to have $20, $30, $40, whatever $1,000 in the bank, and you have to substantiate that. And you pass all that, and you become a general contractor. And we wonder why we got problems in the building industry.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right to say that?
That's pretty close. But like I said, to be a licensed electrical contractor, you got to prove somewhat that you know what you're doing.
Exactly. And you have to have 4 years experience minimum, right?
Yeah.
Not required for a GC. And we wonder why so many people are GCs out here and proud of it. I find it to be appalling, personally, and wonder why our quality of construction is like it is. But they're general contractors. Now, is my thought process there just being cantankerous, old-fashioned, or what? Does that even make sense to you? Now, it doesn't to me, because there's no experience required.
Just be a good test taker.
Yeah, and you go to school to be a good test taker. Now, that to me now, I could do it, but I've never been a GC. I built several houses. I've done a lot of contractor work, but I went to the course. I did do that at CPCC. I took the class on how to pass the test, and I knew all the information, but I did go to be a CR certified remodeler under the NARI banner, which was 12 weeks of study and then we had to pass an 8-hour exam. You say 8 hours? Yeah, it was 8 hour proctored exam. Had to take 8 hours, and they said it was comparable, but harder than the general contractor's licensing test, which I passed it, got certified. Now, and they were talking about grandfathering the CRs, certified remodelers, into the contractor's licensing protocol, but they never did it. But I didn't care to be a GC. Matter of fact, and I'll tell you why. It governed me. It held me back. It controlled me because I knew I couldn't do but so much. I wanted somebody to slap me down and keep me grounded, so I wouldn't overstep my boundaries. But there's a way to build houses in North Carolina without a general contractor's license. And it's easy. If you own the property, you can build. As a homeowner, you can do any work to your house. You have to pass the protocol required.
As long as it's not to buy, sell, rent, or lease.
Exactly.
You have to live in it.
If you live in your house, you can do all the GC work, all the electrical, all the plumbing, but it should pass building code.
You just got to get a permit.
You got to permit it. You got to get it inspected. And if you don't know what you're doing, you will learn very quickly. Because the inspectors will take care of it, believe me. So, but this thing about contractor licensing is, to me, it just doesn't make any sense, And you hear me talk a lot. Matter of fact, Preston Sandlin's coming in the house next week, I believe. We're going to be talking about quality that he sees, and we talked about it with the electrical avenue and all the failures, you might say. And failures to inspections are a big money problem too. Because like I say, you got to go back and fix it.
Yep.
So, is there anything else you would recommend for anybody coming out of high school?
Really, what I tell...
Because I know you confront young people. Who does the interview, by the way? If somebody comes to you, who's interviewing these kids?
We have our labor team does that.
Really?
Yeah, we have a labor team. That is their deal. But I'm going to tell you, like I tell other, the salesman hat of
right.
apprenticeship. That think of it this way: you got to get in front of mom and dad, not just the kid. You got.
Oh, I hear you.
So apprenticeship. Just talking round numbers, college education, round numbers is $25,000 a year. Just round numbers.
I hear you.
So that's $100,000 that is going to be spent on little Joey to get a college degree.
To get a degree.
Ain't
got a job yet.
He ain't got a job yet.
And some of them don't even know where they're going when they go to college.
But $100,000 for little Joey to get a degree. So the day he graduates, unless you've got some coin, somebody is somewhere between $25,000 and $100,000 in debt on day one.
Right.
And he ain't got a job. The day he graduates, somebody.
Can I put a caveat on top of that? Mm-hmm. And Joey can sign for it when he's 16 years old.
Yeah.
Without parents' consent.
So there's $100,000 right there. Apprenticeship. You graduate high school on Friday, you can have a job on Monday making X dollars. We'll say, for round numbers, we'll say $10 an hour, just for round numbers.
Sure.
But you're going to make more than that on day one. They graduated college and are $100,000 in the hole.
And still ain't got a job. Or paycheck.
While they're working for 4 years, little Joey has been working for 4 years, graduating up, and when at the end of 4 years, it's very, very, very conceivable that he's making $60,000, $70,000 a year after 4 years. That's very conceivable. Lifetime earnings, that college degree will never catch that tradesman. Never in lifetime earnings unless he's that surgeon or that top-notch lawyer, whatever. But I'm going to say the general person will never, ever catch that tradesman in lifetime earnings. Never, ever.
I agree.
Never ever.
I agree. College, we all know and we're all hearing, college doesn't work. Not any longer. It works in certain...
It broke my mama's heart when I did not carry on with college. It broke my mama's heart.
Women, excuse me, I love you. God, I love all women. I love, oh God, I just don't know what we would do without all the women. But y'all are making all the decisions for your kids. And the decisions you're making about college is not necessarily the correct one. And it's being seen. Matter of fact, I had a teacher, what was Karen? You know, the lady.
Oh, you're talking about not Karen Sweat, are you?
Yeah, Karen Sweat.
Okay.
Yeah, her son, Carter. Yeah, she called me, she saw me at a restaurant one night. She heard me on the radio talking about what we're talking about right now, college and the failure of college to me. And she came to me and she says, Ray, I was so wrong. That's what she said. She said, I'm so elated to talk to you, so because I have to share my story. She said, I pushed my son. I wanted him to go to college so bad, and one day he came to me when he was in middle school and told me, Mom, I don't want to go to college. I'm not going to college. She said, it tore me up, broke me all to pieces. But she said, as soon as he got in high school, he wanted a job. So he got a part-time job. He made money. And then as he got older, he got a job as an apprentice for Blue Dot Concrete, working on cement trucks. And she said, and he came home, Ray, he had a smile from ear to ear, and he loved what he did. Dirty? Oh, my God. That boy was dirty. But he loved what he was doing. Loved it. Mm-hmm. And she said, I was so wrong because my son is happier than I've ever seen him working. She said, but I was so disappointed, but I was so wrong. She said, I've shared it with other parents. Listen to your kids. Listen to what they want to do, what direction they want. Matter of fact, there's been several times, and I've told stories, I won't go into it today, where the parent, I talked to a parent, well, he should go to college and get at least a bachelor's degree, associates or something, like your parents wanted you to do, Rishton. And so the kids got pressure from the parents. A college degree is not a career.
So I'm going to put in a real short synopsis of me. Broke my mama's heart when I said I don't want to go to college. But she said, okay. So went the trade route. I think I've done pretty well for myself.
Yeah, you did okay.
I do not have a college degree. I have a high school diploma, and I've been through an apprenticeship program. That is my education. I am licensed in 5 states, electrical contractor in 5 states. That ain't too shabby.
No.
I am on the North Carolina state licensing board. I recently got appointed to Code Making Panel 6. I'll be responsible for writing the 29 code. I do not have a college degree. It does not have to be that. That's somebody just working.
That is status quo in America today. They have brainwashed you, the public, all of the people in this country into college is the way to go. Well, it's changing. If you hadn't paid attention lately, it's changing. AI will replace, what they say, 60 to 70% of the jobs out there.
I read something today.
Cool.
Ford Motor Company has made a mistake in having AI do a lot of their vehicle design, and their sales has done this. They are replacing AI with real engineers.
Awesome. We're going through a transition right now currently in America. Everybody should know that, and it's total chaos in my
There's
book.
still time to right the ship.
Yeah.
Still time.
Oh, yeah.
You said that the person you was talking about got dirty. All right. I tell apprentices, are you going to be outside? Yeah. Are you going to get cold? Yeah. Are you going to get dirty? Yeah. Are you going to get hot? Yeah. But there's good days you're going to be working in air conditioning. You're going to be working in the heat. In a heated building. I used to come home. My wife would tell me I couldn't even come in the front door. She would say, strip. strip.
Right.
Leave your clothes there, hand them to me so I can put them, so I take them over to the water hose them off so that they can go in the washing machine.
Right.
But I was not allowed in the door till I stripped.
I hear you. Oh, I've had days like that.
You know
I've
what I'm
had
talking
days
about.
where I didn't want to get in my truck.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, exactly.
But were you happy?
Oh, goodness gracious. I wouldn't take anything for what I've learned and what I've done. The worst job, the nastiest, dirtiest day ever spent was in a boathouse on Lake Norman when I cut into a sewer line and it spewed out all over me. That was dirty.
But you learned not to do that again.
Oh, that was the stupidest thing I ever did. The minute that saw blade hit liquid, I said, oh, Lord, I just messed up. What was I thinking? But you know what? That's how you learn. Mm-hmm. When you make mistakes, you learn. But let me talk about Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions here. Talk about learning. If you want to learn about your house, check it out. Get intimate with your house. Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions, a great foundation repair company. They handle a lot of things. What I recommend is go online. You know, technology is great when it's about education. Go online to rhinoliftfoundations.com. Check them out. Check out all the services they provide. The great thing about them, well, they're licensed contractor in both North and South Carolina. They know what they're doing. Engineers on staff to give you the best solution, best resource you can find to get anything around your foundation, slab, sidewalk, patio, you name it, they can handle it. That's rhinoliftfoundations.com. And I kind of compare Kilo Exterminating or put them in the same area as Rhino Lift because it's mostly sight unseen. How many people you know that know how to inspect for wood-destroying insects, be it residential or commercial? Kilo's been in town since 1939. 3 generations old, definitely know what they're doing. All technicians certified in entomology. That's right. That's Kilo Exterminating. Kilo.biz. Check them out. Give them a call. Check out their rates. You're going to find they're the most reasonable, most professional, most qualified, one of the most in Charlotte. That's Kilo.biz. And today we've had the pleasure. I didn't realize how much it was to have Mr. Kevin Tice, the Honorable Kevin Tice, in studio today. I didn't know you had so many credentials. Ain't you something?
And no college degree.
Well, I congratulate you, and I appreciate what you've done through the years and the way you've supported. And he's a Charlotte native, too. There's 3 of us in the room today. You know, I went to...
There's more than you think.
Oh, yeah. I went to a restaurant the other night, sat at the bar with 3 young men to my left. And these 3 young men were car salesmen with Hendrix. And we got to talking. No, Ray Terry don't talk much. But anyway, we started talking. All 3 of those boys, all 3 of them were trained in automotive and are from Charlotte. Now, how many times can you sit down at a bar?
That don't happen.
It don't happen. I said, y'all realize there was 4 of us sitting right there at the bar, all Charlotte natives. And everybody says we're rare, we're unicorns. Ain't nothing unicorn about a Charlotte native. There are lots of them. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, once again, remember the Royal Insurance Brigade that moved in here and the IBM Brigade that moved in here from other cities? Well, all those young adults moved to Charlotte with their new college degrees, I might add, and moved to Charlotte through corporate America, IBM, and then several big corporate headquarters moved to Charlotte. Well, all those parents had babies. And that was, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
And look at what we get.
I'm a product of one.
He's a product.
Yeah.
He's a product. Mm-hmm. So that 2nd or 3rd generation baby boomers that had all the babies, well, they came to Charlotte with corporate America. And there's a lot more natives than a lot of people think. And through that, which I learned. You know, I didn't realize there was that many babies born as a result of the, corporate influx. But you realize there's 150 to 200 people moving here every day. Charlotte's out of control.
Yep.
Out of control. If some child or parent is looking for a place for your child to, for one thing, you got to talk to them, see if they like it, because parents nowadays are somewhat reluctant to let their child get dirty. What avenue of approach would you recommend someone take out of high school?
Talk to contractors. Talk to contractors. There's a multitude of contractors of any trade.
You mean contracting companies?
Contracting companies.
Walk in the door and
Call them on the phone. Talk to them.
Talk to them.
Not text them. Talk to them.
Don't email them.
Aunt B, call the man.
You heard it. Tell them again.
Aunt B, call the man.
There you go. Call, talk. Stick out your hand, shake somebody's hand, look them in the eye, let them know that you're interested in a job. It's that simple.
That's all it takes.
It's all it takes. I have told 5 young students that same prescription or recommendation. Find a company. Don't matter how. Matter of fact, bigger the better.
Yeah.
Bigger the better. Starr Electric, Watson Electric. Name a few. Let's name some.
Howard Brothers, Watson. Watson. I'm going to call it Red Watson and Blue Watson. There's a Watson Electrical Contracting and Watson Electric.
Right.
Talk to either one of them. Starr Electric, Howard Brothers, Preferred Electric.
Just a bigger company
A
would
bigger
be better.
company.
Because smaller companies won't take care of their employees like the bigger ones will. And that's just the bottom line. Now, there's some small companies out there like Arc Electric, Chris Harrell, great company, residential primarily. They do it all, but, you go to a company like that, a well-established professional construction company, be it plumbing, be it contracting.
Precision Plumbing.
Precision,
Good folks. Folks.
Oh, they don't, you can't.
You can't get any better.
You can't do any better in precision plumbing. You just can't. But highly.
Yeah, just talk to them. They will point you.
Talk to them. Have a driver's license. Show up on time. Be prompt. Be courteous. Be nice. And learn how to communicate. The most important thing you do every day, we do collectively, is communicate. And what did we just tell them?
Call the man and talk to them.
Call them and talk to them. And talk like you can to be understood. There's another problem we have. Have you run across that problem where they don't know how to talk?
Yeah.
Electricians should know how to communicate very well. It's a lifesaver. Talking and communicating can save lives. It's something that I highly recommend people do. It's the number one thing I tell students now. What's the most important thing you do every day? Second thing I say, what's the most important thing we all want? We all want the same thing. What is it, Richton?
Be loved.
Happiness.
Bingo and bingo. To be loved and happy. That's really all we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to be happy.
You want the things that will make you happy.
Exactly. And being rewarded at the end of every day with a job well done, believe it or not, there's a lot of happy in that. How many days do you finish up and say, wow, that's awesome?
Ride around town and say, I did that.
Right.
I did that.
Right.
See that light burning right there? I did that.
Exactly. History.
Yep.
I appreciate you coming in today. You came in under short notice, and I appreciate it. Made my day, and I want to thank you. And also, thank you for any support you can render or give the toolbox here. And you've already made a suggestion. I love it. They've got an apprenticeship contest next Friday, I believe.
Next Friday,
which I plan to attend. I attend it every year. And it's just a great event. Young electricians doing their thing.
Show them
learning.
what they can do.
What's that?
Show them what they can do.
Right. And they can do a lot. And Starr Electric's going to give us the remnants, hopefully, of the apprenticeship contest, and that'll give us some expendables to teach with here at the Toolbox, which we need support. Voila, they're providing, and really well needed and vastly needed. So make it a great week. We're going to be back here next week with Preston Stanley, Home Inspection Carolina. Starr Electric, appreciate it. Thank you. StarRelectric.com.
.net.
StarRelectric.net. So if you're interested, don't go online. Call them. You could call and ask for Kevin Tice, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Kevin Tice, Starr Electric, if you're interested in an apprentice. Next week, this Saturday, 9 to 11, Fox Sports Charlotte. We'll see you next week right here.